All right, let's talk about the next one, which is basically what's called the explicit form of a sequence. And this is what a lot of your quiz is going to be on. Remember, a sequence is a list of numbers. In case you didn't write it down from last time or forgotten already. And it has to follow a logical pattern. So, there are two main types that you're going to have to learn about. We're only going to really focus on one for this section, and then there's a later one. And it's basically arithmetic, which you add or subtract. And that's what we're going to be focusing on. And geometric, which is one where you're going to multiply or divide. Okay, so arithmetic sequence. There's two types of formulas now for an arithmetic sequence, I guess for any of these. And we're going to focus on what's called an explicit formula. And the nice thing about an explicit formula, it lets you find any term without listing all of them. So let's say I gave you a list. I'm like, what is the 10,000th term? You would be able to do that. So, and this is the part where people get confused on the most. So let's hopefully not get you confused with this. And if I do, it's Horion's fault. So hopefully you remember this from way earlier. This is what was called function notation, right? Function notation. You would say that is f of n, right? So function notation is something we're going to use again, and it's basically what all of our formulas are going to be in. So this is saying the function to find the nth term. And nth just means anything, like we just said, right? So if I wrote, what is f of 9? This means the function to find the 9th term. And hopefully you remember, all you do with that is you write it out, but instead of n, it says 9. So instead of n, you're going to write 9, which equals 88. So this is a list of numbers, and the 9th term is 88. So if I wanted to find f of 1, you would do 7 plus 9 times 1. F of 2 equals 7 plus 9 times 2. F of 3 equals 7 plus 9 times 3. 16, 25, 34. And as you can see, really all that's happening is it's going up by 9 every single time. So if I wanted to find the 9th term, I could have just started listing plus 9, and gotten 43, 52. But once again, this is just a faster way of doing it, so we don't have to keep going over and over and over and over again. Okay. So if I give you a formula like this, all you got to do is plug in the number to find what you want. Okay, here's where people start getting a little bit confused though, because this is a formula, and then I'm giving you a separate formula to make another formula. So to find an explicit formula, you're going to use this. F of n equals f of 1 plus d n minus 1. So you've got to memorize this. You will not pass this quiz if this is not memorized. And it takes a little bit of practice, but once you get done with it, it's not too bad. It's stuff that you know how to do already. So remember, f of n is the function to find a term. F of 1 is first term. D is what's called the common difference. N minus 1 is always there. You always put n minus 1 there. So, for example, if I asked you, find the formula for this, 2. Oh, wow, my brain is just suddenly, I don't know, paused. Right. So you want to find the formula for this. What you're going to do is write this down. You're going to write f of n equals, the first term is f of 1, so you're going to write 2. Now you got to find the common difference. Oh, I don't know where my light blue one went. Right, so you check. Plus 4, plus 4, plus 4. So right here you write plus 4, and then you always just end with n minus 1. Now, you have the option, you can leave it this way. Most of the time. It just really depends on how people like doing it. I know for a fact that the final that you guys are going to have, they wouldn't let you leave it this way. But you don't have to take that final if you do it this semester, so you could just leave it like this. So then if I asked what is f of 10, you would write 2 plus 4, 10 minus 1. You've got to do the parentheses first. Don't forget PEMDAS. Right? Parentheses. So you do 2 plus 4 times 9, which equals 38. Right? So you can just plug it in like that. You could also use a calculator and write 2 plus 4, parentheses, 10 minus 1, and get 38. You'd get the same thing. So you should hopefully notice that this formula looks different than what we did up here. And that's because they have simplified. Two plus 4 n minus 1. You could distribute 2 plus 4n, 4 minus 1 times minus 1 is minus 4, which would then get you to negative 2 plus 4n. These are the same thing. It just depends on how you want it to look, for the most part. that'll get you through the arithmetic 1. And basically, it should get you through arithmetic 2 as well. Just know that you could subtract instead of add for the common difference. Actually, let's just do that real quick. So I could say something like, use the formula F23. And then I can give you a list of numbers. 302, 299, 296. Right? So you'd always write f of n equals first term, 302. Then you've got to find the common difference. So see, this time it's going downwards. Minus 3, minus 3, minus 3, and then n minus 1. So if you wanted to find f of 23, you could just do 302 minus 3, 23 minus 1, which, let's just put this one into a calculator this time. 302 minus 3, 23 minus 1, 236. Now, if you wanted to simplify this, because like I said, depending on the test or whoever's doing it, they might want a simplified version of this. You would do f of n equals 302 minus, you would multiply 3n, and then you'd multiply this way. A negative times a negative is a positive. You get a plus 3. So 302 plus 3 is 305. So your final formula would be f of n equals 305 minus 3n. So then if you wanted to find f of 23, you plug in 305 minus 3 times 23. You do this, and lo and behold, you get 236, which is the same thing. So same formula, just a different way of doing it. One last thing, it's annoying sometimes that people use different notations, and at one point our book was using one, and then it changed another one. If you see something that says a of n, that means f of n, just so you know. Or if I said, what is a sub 1, that means f of 1. So it's a different way of doing that. And that should get you through all the arithmetic stuff. So do the worksheets, huh?